Good evening, everyone. I'm Dr. Joe, and it's my pleasure to welcome you back to the Dr. Joe Show. By way of background, I'm a licensed psychologist here in sunny Boca Raton, Florida, where it has been my pleasure and my privilege to practice for the past 25 years. And in order to mark 25 years of private practice, I made the decision to leave my comfortable little box, if you will, and I launched the Dr. Joe Show so that I would have a forum, a means to introduce to you some incredibly special people that I've met along the last 25 years here in private practice. Now, for those of you who tune in every week, you know that I like to talk about three criteria that a guest has to have to come on my show. Number one, he or she has to have integrity. Number two, she has to have passion about everything that she does. And the third critical criteria, if you're going to be a guest on my show, then one of your goals every single morning when you wake up is you have to be determined to make a difference in the world. I don't care if it's with one person. I don't care if you're out to make a huge positive dent in the universe. And I have an extremely special person to share with you this evening. By way of background, and you will meet her, actually she's sitting right here off camera. You'll meet her in 1 second. Her name is Cindy Ruccolo. There we go. Cindy is a fitness and nutrition expert. Cindy is a #1 best-selling author, public speaker, certified fitness trainer, sports nutritionist, and a mindset mentor. Also a mother, wife, and a U.S. military veteran. Cindy has been in the business for over 27 years, and she has served in every aspect of the industry as an aerobics instructor, a personal trainer, a salesperson, a general manager of several major health clubs. Cindy has designed a program that helps you get fit from the inside out, and through her personal success with these tools, she now teaches other people here locally and around the world how to use them. You can tell she was a 6-time national level bodybuilding champion. She holds many first places. Actually, I think I gotta sit up a little straighter at this point. And she knows what it takes to succeed. She's also about giving back. Cindy teaches a mind-body connection class at Gilda's Club in Fort Lauderdale, where she provides support to those affected with cancer. Now, I've been chasing Cindy for about a year to get her on the show. You can see why it's taken me so long. Cindy does speaking engagements, workshops, VIP days, boot camps that I haven't had the chance to try yet, a little nervous, one-on-one training, nutritional counseling, and aquatherapy. Cindy is in the business of changing lives one body at a time. Learn to eat clean and get lean for good. No excuse. It is my pleasure to welcome Cindy to the Dr. Joe Show.
Thank you so
Cindy,
much.
thank you. Again, I tease you. It's taken me a long time to pull you away from everything you are doing. But your message is so powerful that I had to have you on the show to share with everybody that's going to tune in around the world. Before we start to talk about what you're doing professionally, can you take a little time and just share with our audience how this all got started? Were you athletic? Were you not athletic? Did you grow up in a nutrition sort of family? I want to hear about the military. I want to hear how you combine being a mom and being a wife. So start anywhere, please.
Oh my goodness. Well, how much time do we have?
5 hours.
We're going to need it. Well, actually, Dr. Joe, I wasn't really a child that grew up in a real environment with sports and stuff like that. My family's from Indiana.
Okay.
They're very meat and potatoes.
Okay.
Quite honestly, most people in my family are overweight and have always struggled with their weight.
Okay.
So I grew up kind of fighting those demons my whole life. And I guess my parents were always, you're not thin like them, so you can't eat like them. You have to have carrot sticks and celery sticks. And so I kind of grew up with that mindset and those little messages in my head.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So as I got to go through high school, kind of always worrying about that.
About weight, about body image.
About body image,
Okay.
In my mind, those little messages playing over and over. And I went and joined like my first gym. And I wasn't even really old enough.
And what? So this was still in high school.
Still in high school.
Okay.
And the lady said, you know, you're not really old enough, and we really need a parent's signature. But you know what?
Okay.
We'll let you work out here,
Okay.
right? So she basically kind of primed me too, because she was telling me you'd make a great aerobics instructor, and I could see you teaching classes, and it kind of got me excited about something for the first time,
Yes.
right? In high school, I did pom-poms and cheerleading, but I wasn't over-the-top athletic. So I joined this health club, kind of lit a little spark in me.
Uh-huh.
I ended up going away to the military. I signed up when I was 17 and I joined the Navy.
Okay, and what was your thinking? What was that all about?
I was a surfer girl.
Surfer.
And I wanted to go to California. My brother was in SEAL team. My brother was in the Navy.
Okay.
And I wanted to have it like he had it. He got to surf every day.
Forgetting about the other 24 hours.
Yeah, the other. Yeah, I forgot about that.
Okay,
That's a whole other story. But I wanted to have that in my life, where I wanted to kind of, my parents were very, I don't want to say controlling, but I came from that environment where it was micromanaged, and I just really wanted to break away and get out on my own.
So at 17,
17, enlisted.
In the Navy.
In the Navy.
Okay.
U.S. Navy. So it's a funny story, because I went to the recruiter, and he goes, well, what do you like to do?
Surf.
I go, well, I like surfing, and I like boats. And he goes, we got just the job for you. They put me on a gigantic ship,
Okay.
a destroyer tender, with 800 men, 400 women.
Okay.
So I was just looking for a few good men. So I end up going on this gigantic ship,
Right.
and that's where it all began for me, the spark with the whole fitness thing, because I had taken up, my boyfriend at the time that I met in the military was a Navy diver.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And we worked out every single day. We got to even where we ran like 10-mile days. So
Around the ship.
We would run.
That's a lot of
We'd
laps.
run a lot of laps. And so I trained with those guys every day, and it was relentless. I mean,
They did it.
it was tough. It was really tough. So at that point, I always moonlighted, and I taught aerobics classes,
Mm-hmm.
and I did everything that I could to make extra money in the military too, right?
Okay.
But I helped people. I became a certified fitness trainer, and I helped people do weight training, and I taught them how to do that. And it was in the military that I started really, really liking it, to the point where I started competing.
Okay. As a
So,
bodybuilder?
A bodybuilder.
Okay.
I did national shows, NPC shows,
Mhm,
and I started out, I competed in every weight class.
Wow.
And it was really, and it was pretty adventurous. It was pretty exciting to go through that whole motion of, you know, what it's like to get ready for a competition, what it's like to train for a competition, the dieting, the whole thing, the getting your routine together, all the choreographing that goes behind that. So it was really interesting. My husband at the time was also a bodybuilder. So there was two people in the house at the same time competing, and that was a whole different dynamic. But
Okay. We'll talk about that later.
yeah. So that's kind of where it all came from, was
Okay.
that I really, really got interested in bodybuilding
Mm-hmm.
and taught aerobics and did all of that. And that's kind of where my program came from.
Okay. And how long were you in the Navy for?
5 years.
Okay.
Traveled all over the world.
Get to surf?
Got to surf
Got to
everywhere.
surf.
Had my board on the ship.
Okay.
Got to surf Australia, Hawaii.
Wow.
Yeah, I was
Wow.
everywhere. So by the
Wow.
time I was 21, I'd already been around the world a couple times.
Okay. And by age 21, now the fire's lit, you're passionate, you're obviously into health. And how did you then start? I mean, obviously, as we said, you're published, you're a national speaker. How did you start stepping from a smaller role into the world stage?
When I was in the military, I was in Hong Kong, and the military police hunted me down and told me that I had to go home, that there was an emergency. And when I got home, it took me 3 days to get home. By the time I got home, I found out my father had passed away.
Oh.
So he had lung cancer, and they were going to tell me at Christmas when I came home. They were waiting. They didn't want to
Waiting.
lay it on me,
Okay.
you know, when I was halfway across the world. When I walked into my home, I can't tell you how that impacted my life. You know, 8 months to the day after that, my mother had a fatal heart attack.
Wow, Cindy.
So here I am, an orphan at 21, going, God, what's going on? You know, what is the message here? And the message to me, how I took it, was that my parents didn't take care of themselves. They didn't eat right. They didn't exercise. And my mother, my God, she was on every kind of a pill. They just kept writing her prescriptions to breathe, to wake up, to go to sleep. I don't have to tell you that that completely impacted my life to the core of my being. And I decided from that moment on that I was going to talk to everybody, get on my soapbox and talk to everybody I could about doing the best and being proactive and preventive, about taking a stand for your health and your wellness. And it also shifted something else in me. I realized that all the muscles in the world, and having your best body ever, I mean, being in the best shape of your life, and something could still be missing.
Yes.
So I tried to find out, what is that? I looked great, my body was perfect, I'm rocking, I've got all the first place trophies. Why am I still not happy?
Okay.
So I realized that there was this big void inside of myself. And all that body image stuff, all that other stuff came to the forefront. So I started working on me. After the death of my parents, I really turned it inside.
The outside was looking great.
The outside was a beautiful shell, but there was emptiness and a void inside, and a lot of pain. So I began a quest of just really transformation. And I got therapy, I read every self-help book, I studied under every guru that I possibly could, the Wayne Dyers, the Louise Hayes, all of that. And I really worked on myself. And what I found was my self-esteem started to improve.
As a result of all that
inner
work.
Right, the meditation. And so what I did was I created a program, and all I'm doing is sharing my tools with my clients, the things that worked for me.
Okay. I want you to look out there, and I want you to start taking people, because I was joking, I wish we had 5 hours.
No, I know.
I'm waiting for the producer to start hitting the table. Start to talk about the program.
Okay.
Because I want people to hear this.
Okay.
Take us through what you can of the program.
All right. So what I do is I created this program to help women that are in my age group, that are going through menopause, issues with hormonal stuff, chemical imbalances, all those types of things that really affect how they feel inside about themselves. Because what I found was, you can get in shape and you're not going to keep it though. Because if there's something more inside that you're not addressing, it's really, really hard to keep the results, because you start emotionally eating, whatever it is. So what I did was I created a program that helps them, when I say get fit, it's an inside job, with working with their self-esteem and their self-confidence and feeling good about themselves. And really, through my journal that I created, I published this little journal. And in this journal, I have them basically writing down their workout of the day, their daily eating, and a daily affirmation. And how this helps them is, this is a great accountability tool, because the first thing when I get to their house and I knock on their door, this is the first thing they hand over to me.
Okay.
Because we're going to go through and see what you've done when you weren't with me and what you're doing on the eating. Because there's no way you're not going to get results if I'm not managing what's going on.
Okay.
Okay? So I put my clients on an eating plan. That's the very first thing I do. And I get them working on all of their inside stuff through affirmations, through meditation, through visualization. We work with a lot of deep inside stuff. A lot of times it's not what they're eating, it's what's eating them. So I get them kind of addressing those issues.
Okay, now we live in we're a society that demands instant gratification, and I'll leave it at that. How do you handle that? Cindy, I'm doing this, I'm not seeing the results, I'm used to everything right away. How do you help somebody deal with the fact it's going to take time? This is not an overnight issue.
Well, they know in the beginning when we do our evaluation, I tell them, you know that this didn't happen to you overnight. It's not going to come off overnight.
Great starting point.
You need to be patient. Rome was not built in a day, okay? So I have an accountability system with my clients where I'm texting them, they're calling me, I'm calling them, I send out emails, and I'm kind of a Facebook stalker, so I'm always watching, what is that drink on the table at your luncheon or whatever. But basically I'll text them and say, give them a positive thing for the day, but they know that they can reach out to me. Like, listen, Cindy, I'm standing on the ledge. I've got a Snickers bar in my hand. Please help me. And there's that constant...
The support.
The support and the accountability.
Okay.
So I do I don't want to say beat it in their heads, but I do make it perfectly clear that this is not going to be easy. And I give them the tools for when those things happen. I have a whole bunch of questions I ask my clients in the very beginning, and it's a constant reminder.
Okay. I have a sense that part of it, Cindy, as I listen to you, is about balance. Now, I know you're very passionate about your career. I know you're also a mom. I know you're also married to Jim. Tell everybody about the notion of balancing. How do you keep it all together?
Oh, God. A very, very regimented and disciplined daily schedule. My son is at UCF now, so there was always that, having to strike a balance in the family unit, and now it's just Jim and I. But we take time. Family is very important to us, so we manage to strike a balance by scheduling everything out, and we talk about our time schedules every morning, like how is your day going to go, our week. We plan for our date nights. We used to have family date nights. So we've always struck a balance, and there's always moderation and balance in our home. Harmony.
And it seems to be working.
It's totally working. It's a lot of communication.
Okay.
But we're very regimented, very disciplined.
Well, that's that Navy background.
That really helps me. I plan ahead.
Okay. Now, I know there are some folks out there, not just women, but I know there's some people out there looking at you, and they're looking at themselves, and they're saying, there's no way, it's too late, I haven't gotten off the couch. You're already shaking your head. I'll continue. I haven't gotten off the couch in 3 years. I keep buying bigger and bigger pants. Is it ever too late for someone?
Dr. Joe, it is never, ever, and all of you out there, it is never too late. You just have to make the decision that you want to change. And I help you take those action steps.
Okay.
With my system, you cannot fail. You cannot fail.
That's a guarantee.
If you follow, I will only guarantee if they follow it to a T. And now if I provide them with everything and they decide to cheat or go off the plan, once I bring them back around by reminding them of their goals and showing them the commitment form that they signed with me, it's usually a wake-up call. Now, does everybody do it on the short path? No. Some people do it a little bit more in moderation. My eating plan's very doable.
Okay.
It's just a power combination, the right foods at the right times, and they're never hungry, they never have cravings. But for people who have that fear, don't. Because I have clients that are in their 70s that get into shape. It's never too late. If you want to change, you can do it.
Okay.
I will assure you, I will take your hand and I will help you.
Research now indicates, current statistics, that 70% of Americans, 70%, including children, are obese by definition. Where does that strike you? What does that say to you? As an expert in the field of nutrition, health, exercise, where does that resonate inside you?
That we are at a very critical place. We are the fattest country. We are the sickest.
Fattest, sickest.
People are dying early of these crazy deaths from inflammatory disease. I follow a doctor, he's a PhD, Dr. Colin Campbell.
Okay.
And basically what he says is when people start following a whole living food, plant-based diet, that these conditions can be prevented or reversed. Some of my clients actually have gotten off blood pressure medication, no longer on cholesterol medication. I mean, you know, these blood sugar issues, or everything's normalized and stabilized. It's amazing when you give your body what it needs, it can heal itself. That is like crazy to me.
Right.
I watch these stories and these people and all these transformations happening. We're at a very critical place, and everybody needs to take part and wake up. It is very serious. It's in our hands. We have control of that.
I have the sense that I picture a family of 4 or 5 people. I can picture, and now we haven't talked about this, so I'll be curious if this is true. I can picture one member of the family, obviously it's going to be the adult, a mom or a dad or whoever it is, reaching out and connecting. I can visualize that person starting to change, and then I imagine this ripple effect in the family.
It's
Is that happening?
It's totally happening. I do whole families too.
I had a feeling. That's why I wanted to
I
bring
go
that
into
up.
their home. This is such an exciting part of my program. I do a VIP
Look
day.
right there and tell them about this before we run out of time.
I do a VIP day, and that's where I come into your home and I teach your entire family how
Wow.
to eat differently and how to change their lives. Your kids get better grades. They sleep better. Their behavior changes. Everything changes. It's a wonderful transformation to watch. But I go into the home and I strip down the pantries, the cabinets, everything. We pack it in a box. We take it to a shelter. We go to Whole Foods and we stock your home up with whole, living, clean food. And I teach you how to cook clean, how to cook for the week and prepare for your family. It's so easy. How to be prepared for your day if you're a worker. Like I am a worker bee, right? And then I teach the family how to do exercises. And so I leave them with my complete program. They videotape it. It's a phenomenon. It's wonderful.
So we can, to go back to the Navy, the ship's heading this way. You are a firm believer that we can alter the course.
We can
as an individual,
all
as a family, as a country, as a nation, as a world.
Absolutely.
That's where you're coming from.
We're at the helm and we're in control of where our ship goes.
Wow.
And that your path can be changed at any moment. All you have to do is decide.
Cindy, that is so powerful, and it's been such a pleasure of me that you finally were able to come here.
Much.
Again, ladies and gentlemen, I've been chasing Cindy for about 1.5 years. We're going to wrap up for this evening. It has been my pleasure to have Cindy Ruccolo on the Dr. Joe Show this evening, and we're going to make sure that our producer has your information. I want people to be able to contact you. Folks, as you know, I'm a psychologist. I'm actually a child psychologist here in Boca Raton, Florida. School is now back in session. I'm starting to get a little bit busier, so I'm going to take a little break from the weekly Dr. Joe Show. I've got some work to attend to in the office, and I fully intend to be back next season. Thanks for joining us, and I can't think of a greater way to sign off this first season by having Cindy on the show. Cindy,
thank you so much for having me.
Folks, thanks for tuning in.
Thanks, everybody.
Bye-bye.
Thank you.
China to come here, and we're going to beat him.
Even before he could walk, he ran everywhere. We're a very athletic family.
Nike Monster Shocks. More colors now at Finish Line.
Hello, ladies. Look at your man. Now back to me. Now back at your man. Now back to me. Sadly, he isn't me. But if he stopped using lady-scented body wash and switched to Old Spice, he could smell like he's me. Look down. Back up. Where are you? You're on a boat with the man your man could smell like. What's in your hand? Back at me. I have it. It's an oyster with 2 tickets to that thing you love. Look again. The tickets are now diamond. Anything is possible when your man smells like Old Spice and not a lady. I'm on a horse.